It's time for the 2020 USA Archery Indoor National Final Compound Men's Match. Welcome to the NFA Easton Archery Center here in Yankton, South Dakota. It's now time to get our athletes on the field for this competition. So for the final, I'm Greg White sitting alongside Rio Wild, of course, 14-time world champion. Compound men, we got a couple people from Utah.
Yeah.
You have Steve Anderson, big cat, in the Hoyt shirt on the right part of your screen against, I guess you could say upstart, I guess?
Yeah.
Kyle Douglas, who is absolutely on fire. Kyle Douglas was our second place qualifier for the USA Archery Indoor Championship that was held in 13 different locations across the United States. Steve Anderson, our 8th base qualifier. Our bronze medal winner earlier was Chris Schaff from Montana, but now it's all up to these Utah boys. It's 32-year-old Steve Anderson versus Kyle Douglas at 23, and Kyle is on target number 2, and he gets to shoot first.
Yeah, because of his ranking, he gets to choose which he wanted because he was the higher ranked archer coming in. So
Steve Anderson at a draw length of 79.5 inches. No.
definitely long, but that's a good start. But like I said, both of them got them out of the way right out of the gate to get him in the middle, and that's a huge, huge relief. And Kyle's shooting good. I mean, a lot of people didn't know about Kyle till this year, but we've known him for a while in the Idaho, Utah area. It's a tough place to play.
Ooh. All right, Rio, there's one for Steve Anderson, middle target.
I think it's there. I think it's just laying on the line. It's close, but from the look from the camera angles, it looks like it will catch. But I mean, it's one, and then so this makes this third arrow hard because you're in the way of like, is it there? Is it not? Is it there? Is it not? But Steve puts that last one in to really.
That was actually a really quick release for Steve.
Mm-hmm.
He can hold for quite a while. So Steve having a good long look down at his target to see. Judge will go down, and he will get the official score. He's going to call it.
He called it pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But Tate's looking at it again, so my gut says he called it out.
So that's Tate Morgan, who's down there as an advocate for.
No, maybe he's going to look at it again. That's
Okay. Yes.
Again, this is where a good agent comes in handy. Just, hey, you know, can you take another look at that just to.
Yeah, so it looks like we have Tate Morgan for Steve Anderson.
Steve Anderson.
Yeah. So basically what happens is that the call
Maybe now they called it in because Ball looks at it to see. Because you can not usually tell by the agents. Like I said, some of them are really good to give you a thumbs up, thumbs down. But you can kind of watch where you've done this enough to see what they're looking at and seeing. Yep, and it comes out with a 30.
So great job by Tate Morgan. If indeed that was the catalyst that got Brian to look, our judge to look at that arrow through the microscope. Magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass, yeah. It's early.
Yeah, it's early. And get that point. So we're all tied up at 30. There's 5 ends of competition, each end comprising of 3 arrows. So end number 1 complete, and we're tied up. We're shooting 20 yards here at the NFA Easton Archery Center, one of the most spectacular facilities, ratified by World Archery as the largest archery facility in the world.
Yeah. And it's pretty amazing all the things they have here. But Kyle will continue to shoot first where they're tied, where he chose to shoot first to start with, which can have pluses and stuff later down the road if they end up in a 1-arrow shoot-off. Kyle gets to shoot first, so.
Let's talk about some differences. You can see that Steve Anderson is shooting an Easton aluminum arrow, but he also has 3 vanes, 3 fletches on his arrow. Kyle Douglas, on the other hand, is shooting a carbon gold tip with 4 veins on it. Rio, what's the difference? Why would you choose one or the other?
It's interesting when it comes to archery. Everybody has their own little philosophies and theories as to what works best, and it's just what guys test and find they like.
Boy, for Steve Anderson, he drops
that opens a door. And Kyle's been pretty solid here. We've been watching him through the eliminations to get to this point, and he hasn't given up a lot. But where it is a gold medal match, you just don't know what kind of nerves and what it's going to put on him. But that is a big door to open from Steve.
So Steve Anderson, who works for Easton, a world-ranked shooter in his day, has won medals at world archery level. Kyle Douglas, who's got a lot going on in his life. See him talking to famed archer Tim Gillingham. But for Kyle Douglas, at 23 years old. He gets married on Thursday in Ogden, Utah, where he's from. He just received his degree in mechanical engineering from Utah State, and he's a rising star in the world of competitive archery.
Yeah, and he's had a pretty decent week. He shot really well. Hasn't really broken through any of the podiums, but he's done really well. Yeah, that's the 59. That could be the open door. That could be enough for Kyle. You
Steve
don't know.
knows it.
Yep.
He's trying to keep it light, trying to keep it relaxed.
And the hard part about that is you're just like, well, you know, does the archery give up? Does he fight for it? Does he not? Because you know that could be over. It could be over, and it's. But I have seen crazier things happen. I mean, we just saw an 8 win a match just a minute ago, so you never know.
Exactly. And Kyle Douglas, I actually shot with Kyle at the qualifier. I was in Salt Lake City shooting the USA Archery Indoor Nationals, and Kyle was on the same line, and he was absolutely shredding, just inside out, and then had one mistake and shot an 8. And it was the only miss he'd had for the entire qualification of 120 arrows. So, you know, it's not when you're shooting perfect, you always do, because there's the added pressure of, am I going to win this championship? Steve,
There's
drops
another
low.
one.
Now you're talking about a cushion, a comfort zone.
And as the archer, you think about that. I mean, as much as anything, you try not to think about that, but you do. I mean, you try to think of yourself. You want to shoot your score you want, but it's really hard to keep that out of your head as to what the other person's doing.
Size of the 10 ring, which is where they're going for in the middle, about the size of a U.S. penny. They're shooting 20 yards, 18 meters across the floor to the target.
And
These
if
archers do have a coach.
If you don't think that's challenging, you're...
Yeah. This is, and the arrow size, like you're saying, 9 millimeters or 23 diameter arrows, we call it, smaller than what we can shoot in normal indoor.
Yeah, here in the U.S. Overseas, they do a lot of the 9 millimeter limitations.
Oh, Kyle with a flinch. You saw the flinch. Ooh, he was able to recover from that.
His shooting style is a little more on command. So you will see a little more of those, as you call, flinches or ginches or in that way, because they're expecting it to go. And sometimes it doesn't go. So you get a little anticipation with your body. But
one of the things that's key about that is a normal situation where you're in a qualification round, you have time to let down and reset your body. But here you have a 20-second shot clock. You've got to get that off. But also, Rio, don't you think that for a guy like Kyle Douglas, it shows how well he's holding the bow to have that little flinch and still be able to stay in the shot and make it?
Agreed. With that 20-second time, it changes everything. But to be able to like do that and refocus quick enough in that 20 seconds and put it in there, that's a pretty good. That usually means you're on your game pretty well.
So with a score of 88 for Steve Anderson, 90 for Kyle Douglas, we're going to enter end at number 4 of 5 in this compound men's final for the 2020 USA Archery Indoor Nationals final.
Yeah,
Steve Anderson shoots first.
6 arrows left. It's still a match, but Steve's gonna have to start putting some in the middle to put the pressure on Kyle. No, and that's Kyle's just maybe open and spreading the lead a little more.
No dramas there as Steve draws back. It falls off the rest. He just puts it back up there. Almost part of his shot routine.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that do that. I mean, they just, when you see it didn't change much, he didn't freak out about it, nothing. But
Kyle getting good contact with the barrel on his trigger. He shoots a thumb release. Steve Anderson with a back tension.
Works off a hinge motion as he pulls through it, comes off that moon and goes off. But there's a good one. But you can see he knows what's happening with those arrows he's missing. There's another one from Kyle that he kind of does. But like I said, he does it a lot. Kyle practices a lot. He shoots a lot. I mean, we've known Kyle for a few years down in the Salt Lake, Idaho area. I mean, that's a tough place to be. I mean, you look at even Chris Schaff was 3rd. Steve's going to be wherever, and Kyle's going to be wherever after this match. But it's like we have a tough group in that area that really pushes, everything. Kyle's won Vegas. I mean, you got – it's funny, in that Idaho-Utah area, we have a shoot-off. We have an indoor shoot in November that literally there was 8 guys that shot perfect, And out of those 8 guys, every one of them had been in a Vegas shoot-off or had won Vegas.
Strong archers coming out of that part of the country, without question. Well, winters are long, especially on the indoor side of things. Plus, you get a lot of wind if you're outdoor practicing.
Yeah. So sometimes you just, I mean, I live out there. I know I go indoors when it's windy outside because it's not as fun to play with that dang wind when it's outside.
That'll mess with your confidence a little bit.
A lot, yeah.
And actually, sometimes shooting in wind can create some bad habits if you're trying to force it in there, especially if you're a thumb button shooter. You can
or even a
learn how to
hinge,
punch it.
because when you're trying to practice and you're trying everything, you're trying to get every arrow in the middle you can, so it causes you to do things that are abnormal, and it's just not always the best to be out there in the wind. But going to this last end with 3 points, I mean, Kyle's got to feel really comfortable. He could shoot everyone in the 9 ring and hope that Steve shot them all in to even go to a tie. So it's a good comfort factor, especially when you haven't missed one yet. But Steve put that one in the middle to start it off. And Kyle just matched it. I mean, it's...
And there you go. So now for Kyle, all he needs to do is just protect gold, as we say.
Yeah.
Just put it somewhere in the yellow, and he's good to go. Steve doing whatever he can at this point to put the pressure on, but boy, the points available, winding down for an archer of this level.
And Kyle's been consistent on that one. Holy cow, that arrow's been in that same hole every time on that target.
So that's it for Steve.
Yep.
30 on the final end, but
the hard part with archery, you can't play any defense. It's all offense.
Kyle Douglas sends it down into the 10 ring. And yeah, that little sign on the target indicated exactly who won this match. And Rio, if I'm not mistaken, he cleaned it with a 150.
Yeah, and that's not something you see every day. That's a really good, especially in a gold medal match, because the pressure is usually a little higher, but a 150 in a gold medal match is a pretty impressive accomplishment.
Under enormous pressure, Kyle Douglas. Boy, we got to ask Kyle when he gets up to the mic. Just good sign leading into the wedding coming up in a couple days.
Yeah. And plus this afternoon we have an indoor tournament. We have the NFA Indoor Nationals.
We sure do.
It doesn't hurt your confidence at all going into that.
More than likely, Kyle will switch arrows to the larger diameter available. But yes, it's true here at the NFA Easton Archery Center in Yankton, South Dakota. The NFA Indoor Nationals coming up here in just 2 hours. These compound shooters have got to shoot, it's a pro only, and they've got to shoot 90 arrows of competition. And then they have to shoot some more arrows after that if everybody's all tied up. So we have confirmation that Kyle Douglas is your gold medal winner, and he'll be heading over to our competition archery media headset. Put it on Kyle's head, and we'll get to have a little chat. Hi, Kyle. It's Greg White. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Outstandingly. I mean, dude, a perfect score. Tell me about how you were feeling the pressure of that match.
I mean, I was pretty nervous, but I just tried to handle it the best I could and just make really good shots, you know, and try and feel like I was in control the whole match rather than trying to hope that it's going to go in, just try and control them.
Now, when you're watching this, Kyle, are you aware of those 9s that Steve was throwing, and did it relieve some of that pressure, or are you just trying to focus on your own program?
Kind of both. I mean, you hear it, but you still have to focus on yourself because you can slip up just as easy. So I was mostly focusing on myself.
Now, we still have 90-plus arrows to shoot today here at the NFA Easton Archery Center later on in the day. But how do you feel about this win? You know, just knowing in a few days you're getting married. One of the happiest days of your life coming up.
Yeah, it feels good. Hopefully have a little extra cash in the checkbook.
That'd be awesome. Congratulations, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, so Kyle Douglas, your national champion at the 2020 USA Archery Indoor Nationals Final. With some highlights, I want to thank Rio Wild for joining me. It's been outstanding hanging with you again, and thank you for all of your insight, and good luck the rest of today and the rest of the archery season.
Should be fun, so.
All right, stick around. We still have more coming up. Recurve women, recurve men, and barebow open. That's going to finish us off at the 2020 USA Archery Indoor Nationals Final.
Announcing the new, patent-pending CarbonFlax stabilizers. A biocomposite blend of carbon and flax. Flax plant yields a natural fiber with very advanced properties. Flax offers 3 times the vibration dampening of glass and 20% more than carbon. Natural composites are up to 15% lower weight than carbon fiber. TrueBall Excel. We make archery better.
If you're punching the clock between punching tags, chances are you know a thing or two about hard work. Because when you put in the time, you better get your money's worth. Boom! A new Hoyt Nitrix. This thing is tough as nails, and at 4.1 pounds, it's lighter than most Chihuahuas. And oh yeah, it also slings in air at 333 feet per second. It never gives an inch. It'll go against anything, Cape buffalo, white-tailed deer, elk, or snapping turtle, it don't matter. You want a bow you can drag through the mud and trust in your tree stand come bow season? This is your freezer filling, tag punching, season saving, all around go-to bow. And only your Hoyt dealers got it. This is the Hoyt Nitrix.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
That's a good feeling to know I can make this bow do whatever I want it to do and it will react.
This thing is just so much more stable, and it just controls an arrow so well.
Coolest part about it is all you need is a Torx wrench and a couple of Allen wrenches, and you can just stand there on the line. You don't have to run in and put it in the press and move those shims. This is a dream to work with right now.